All right, let's get into it. Today, we're looking at something really cool. A screenplay that totally reimagines Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And it doesn't just treat it as a horror story. No, this version frames it as a deep, profound tragedy.
And to really get to the core of this take, we've got to start with this quote from the screenplay's imagined producer, Guillermo del Toro. This one line, it basically sets the stage for everything that follows. We're not just talking about fear here, we're talking about empathy for the monster. And what happens, the absolute devastation, when that empathy just isn't there. So, our story kicks off, of course, with Victor Frankenstein. We're going to follow his journey from this brilliant, ambitious student into, well, a man who becomes completely consumed by this one single idea. He's going to conquer death.
And you can see here, Victor's downfall isn't some sudden accident. Oh no, it's a step-by-step journey into darkness, a series of choices he makes. It all begins with studying this forbidden knowledge, right? Then it just spirals into an obsession that pushes away everyone he loves. And finally, it leads him to, robbing graves. All of it leading to that one single moment in his secret lab.
And listen to this. These are the last words he says right before he flips the switch. At this point, it's not even about science anymore, is it? This is pure ego, pure hubris. He literally sees himself as a god, totally convinced that he's this genius who's about to change the world.
But that feeling of triumph, it lasts for maybe a second. The creature's eyes flutter open, and it's not the beautiful being he imagined. Not at all. The reality is just horrifying, a grotesque parody of a human. And just like that, all that godlike ambition just melts away and turns into pure gut-level horror. So what does he do? He runs. He just runs. This quote here really nails the single most important moment in the whole story. He abandons his creation at the exact second it takes its first breath. It is the ultimate act of cowardice, and it's the trigger for every terrible thing that's about to happen.
And this comparison is just perfect. It gets right to the heart of the story. On one side, you have Victor, who gets to collapse into the care of his friend, sick with guilt. But on the other side, the creature, totally alone, huddled in the rain, suffering from a cold and a kind of confusion he can't even begin to understand. This is it. This is where their two tragic paths of suffering begin, running side by side.
Okay, so let's flip the perspective. Let's look at this from the creature's point of view. How does this abandoned child, basically, learn about a world that decided to hate him before he even took a second breath? So he finds this little hiding spot, and from there, he watches a family, the Lacey's. And this is how he learns everything. He learns about language, what kindness looks like, what family is. He even learns about music. But he also learns two absolutely devastating things. First, he sees his own reflection in a pool of water and realizes how monstrous he looks. And second, the very same family that he has come to adore, they see him and they attack him. Just pure, violent rejection.
And that leads to this. This is the gut punch of a line he delivers when he finally tracks down Victor in the Alps. I mean, think about it. He's just been violently chased away from the only shred of kindness he's ever seen, and he puts the blame right where it belongs, on a world and a creator that answered his capacity for love with nothing but fire and hate.
Now this is so important. His first demand, it's not for revenge. Not yet. All he asks for is a companion, a mate. He just begs for someone, anyone, who won't run away screaming. And he makes a promise. If Victor just gives him this one thing, he and his mate will disappear and humanity will never see them again. Forever.
And Victor, he actually agrees. Reluctantly, but he agrees. The problem is his own fear, his own prejudice against the thing he made, it wins out. And he makes a decision that is just catastrophic. This is the turning point, you guys. This is where the whole story shifts from a plea for a friend to an all-out war of vengeance.
So picture this. Victor's on some remote island, building the female creature. But then he's hit with this horrible vision. He imagines a whole race of these monsters taking over the world. And in a total fit of panic, while his first creation is watching him through the window, he just rips her apart, destroys her right in front of him.
A promise broken. And that right there, that is the point of no return. It's the moment all hope just evaporates. Any chance for peace, for either of them, is completely and totally gone.
And the creature's response to this ultimate betrayal? Well, it's one of the most chilling lines in literary history. That desperate plea for love is now completely gone, replaced by a cold, calculating promise of pure, undiluted revenge.
And boy, does he make good on that promise, with horrifying precision. See, he doesn't just kill Victor. No, that would be way too easy. Instead, he systematically takes apart Victor's entire world. He murders everyone Victor loves, one by one. The goal? It's simple, really. He wants to make his creator feel just as alone, just as completely isolated as he has always been.
So now, with his entire life in ruins, Victor has only one thing left to live for: vengeance. And that sparks this final, obsessive chase to the literal ends of the earth.
And this is where everything gets flipped on its head. The rules are totally reversed. Now it's the creator hunting his creation across the frozen wasteland. And in this incredibly twisted game, the creature actually leaves food for Victor. Not because he's being kind, but because he wants to keep him alive, to drag out the chase and the suffering for as long as possible.
It all ends on a ship, trapped in the Arctic ice. And it's here, as he's dying, that Victor finally gets it. He has this moment of terrible clarity. He realizes his grand ambition, his attempt to steal the fire of the gods. It didn't create life. It just created a cold, endless winter of death and misery.
But the story's not over. After Victor dies, the creature comes aboard the ship. And he isn't some gloating, triumphant monster. No, he's a grieving son. He's actually filled with remorse, weeping over the body of the man who was, for better or worse, his father. He turns to the ship's captain, Walton, and basically explains his entire tragic life in this one incredible sentence. The point he makes is this: I wasn't born evil. I was born with love in my heart. But you, my creator, you were so afraid that you turned me into a mirror of your own fear.
And with Victor dead, what's left for him? His whole life's purpose, whether it was finding a connection or getting revenge, it's just gone. It's meaningless. And so he leaves the ship, choosing to just disappear into the ice and fog, to find the only peace left for him. So in the end, this version of Frankenstein leaves us with this really powerful question, doesn't it? It pushes us past the horror and makes us look at our own lives. We all create things, right? Whether it's a project, an idea, or just the influence we have on other people. And the question is, what is our real duty? Is it just to make something and walk away? Or is it to stick around and take responsibility for what we've brought into the world?